Dari, hello. It is the 5th of August 2021 and the wait for me is finally over. I have in fact bitten the bullet, pressed a button, spent some money and ordered my new Intel laptop for 2021. Now there is a significant backstory which I will go into a second, but first of all, why should you listen to this video or watch this video? And the reason is, if you're a tech-savvy person or if you're thinking about buying a new laptop on a budget and you're aware of Apple's new range of M1 laptops and you're thinking, should I, shouldn't I, this is the video for you. So let me explain. I sold my quite powerful HP laptop at the beginning of this year on the premise that Apple, sometime later on this year, 2021, would have an updated set of laptops with larger screens that I could buy. So my eyes are not that good these days, and I've always liked a large real estate. So the current range of Apple laptops, which are M1 ARM based, are only 13.3-inch screens, and that's hopelessly small for me. At the absolute minimum, I want a 15.6-inch or 16-inch display, and ideally a 17-inch display would be even better. So I've kind of been waiting for the Apple laptops to show up, and as usual, Apple have let me down. I realised that buying a new Apple laptop would be a vastly costly enterprise. So in our family there's been a lot of saving and scrimping and getting that money together for the purchase, because an Apple laptop of that size and of a 16-inch caliber and super duper processors is probably going to cost about £2,000. Oh, by the way, this is UK prices since we're living in England. So it's probably going to be about a £2,000 purchase. But as of beginning of August 2021, there is nothing to buy. My current stopgap laptop is a Toshiba Protege Z30. It's about 5 years old, having sold the much newer and faster HP. And on the benchmarking scale, the Protege ranks, and on a passmark scale, the Z31FD. Let's see if I can get a photo in here. Can I get a photo in there? There's some speaker comparisons. If you look at the article that was written here at this URL, you'll find that the current laptop that we're using is performant at 2285, and the laptops that I've been looking at with AMD processors are anywhere from 13,000 to 16,000 to even 22,000. So in the best case, like 9 times faster, 900% faster. And a MacBook M1 comes in at about 15,000. Just to give you an indication. So let's get back to the chase. I've ordered a laptop. Why was I so stupid as to order an x64 laptop in 2021 when Apple laptops are just about to come out? Well, the first thing is I couldn't wait any longer. I really would like a laptop. I don't have a lot of money to spend on a laptop that I might need to buy and then sell within months, or even if I like it a lot, I might decide I want to sell it. So I don't want to buy an Intel x64 fancy laptop for over £1,500, because I do think that at the end of the day, Apple's ARM architecture will become prevalent, of course, in the Apple marketplace, but also in the current Windows marketplace. Now, Windows ARM 64, I've written articles about their ability to produce an operating system which actually runs 64-bit code has been totally laughable. So Microsoft's ability to produce a working ARM system is basically still a joke in the industry. So no one's really taking them seriously from that respect, and there's no real hardware to back that up either. Microsoft do produce 1 or 2 ARM 64-bit systems. I think Samsung produces 1, but literally you've got 2 laptops out of literally hundreds of Intel-based laptops. So I think the strategy for me, and I think for many tech savvy people, might be, if you're thinking about choosing a laptop in 2021, buy an inexpensive x64 laptop, because you could either keep that laptop when your, for example, Apple purchase comes through and you buy something more powerful from Apple. So you'll have two laptops, a sort of Windows x64 reference machine, which you might still need for certain programs, and an Apple M1 for everything else. I certainly think that if the Apple architecture takes off, Windows laptops will devalue substantially. So my strategy is to go for this cheaper laptop. Now, I do have a bit of a soft spot for Lenovo because I used to work with IBM, work for IBM, and I've used ThinkPads for many years and do like ThinkPads, and that kind of moved over to Lenovo when Lenovo took over IBM's laptop business, because IBM said, we're never going to make a profit at doing this, and Lenovo said, thanks very much, we'll take your products, and they've made a profit ever since. The laptop I've come to consider is the IdeaPad 3. So I'm going to show you why the IdeaPad 3 is such a brilliant buy. There's one or two things wrong with it, but overall you can't go wrong at this price point. I challenge you to find a better laptop for this price. So we're going to look at the IdeaPad. Where are we? This is the laptop that's been chosen. It's the IdeaPad 3 Gen 6 AMD. Now, I'm going to show you in a minute how to customize this laptop to maximum effect, but I'll tell you that the laptop I actually wanted to buy was the IdeaPad 3 17 ALC6. So this is the laptop I didn't end up buying. And the reason I didn't end up buying this laptop is that you cannot, to save your life, have a backlit keyboard. Now, this is a £700 laptop, and for that price point, I definitely want a backlit keyboard. If you work with your laptop in the dark, you need a backlit keyboard. Just don't think about buying a laptop at that price point without a backlit keyboard. So if you configure an IdeaPad 3 17-inch, you will find out you just cannot get a backlit keyboard. So here we are, we're going through the machine. You've got no choice in you. By the way, in different environments, different territories, Lenovo has slightly different specifications. And I have checked more than 10 different countries, and not a single one has a backlit keyboard for the Lenovo IdeaPad 3 17 ALC6. So there is no backlit keyboard. Okay, so if you scroll down, you'll see you can change the memory. We can add, let's say, 8 gigabytes of memory. You can change the hard drive. You can select the better screen. Thinking this is going great. This is excellent. This is everything that I want. I can change the color to blue. And I can add a fingerprint reader. Yes, please. And keyboard, grey, English, UK. What does that mean? Is that backlit or not? How do you find that out? Because it doesn't clearly say whether that's backlit or not. Normally it says the words backlit, or it just says keyboard. But this just says keyboard, grey, English. The way you can tell is by going to PSREF. So this is an IdeaPad 3 17 ALC6. So if you go into PSREF, I'm actually in a different product, but if I say IdeaPad 3, and as you type, it will narrow down the selection. Remember, it was ALC6. That's that one. So PSREF in the old days was actually a spreadsheet or a PDF file. Now it's a fancy online application that you can actually filter. So that's very convenient. So again, we're trying to find out, I've got the wrong product. Can IdeaPad 3 17 ALC6. I do apologize. 17 ALC6. So, can I have a backlit keyboard? Let's filter by UK. Come on, UK group, in fact. There's only 4 models, and you can scroll and you can see display, touchscreen, card reader, Ethernet, camera. Have I gone past it? I don't think so. Keyboard, right. It clearly says non-backlit keyboard. So we can prove that the IdeaPad 17ALC6, just if you order it and there's no other information, you are not going to get a backlit keyboard. Okay, so let's go back to the machine that I have chosen, which is, let's get rid of that PSREF. Somewhere here, I promise I have the right one. Okay, here's the baby. Here's the baby. So we're back to the machine of choice, the IdeaPad Gen 6 15-inch AMD. So it's starting at about £500. Okay. Now the thing to do is to go to the Customize button, because that allows you to change some of these options here. For example, fingerprint reader. So what can we get this baby up to? So the first thing I'm going to do is select the slightly faster processor. Now don't forget the 5500 and the 5700, whilst they're fast processor options, they're still based on Zen 2 architecture. They're misnamingly numbered as 5th generation Ryzen 7, but in fact these two processors only, so not the 5800s but the 5700s, are based on the older Zen 2 architecture, not, as you might be led to believe, the Zen 3 architecture. So they're actually a lot slower than the rest of their brethren, the other 5000 series, but we can't be too choosy. That's all we can choose. So we get that. We can add in some extra onboard memory. That's soldered memory. There's one DDR4 slot, which I've selected. So we're up to 16 gigs of memory now. A modest upgrade to the drive. So we're at 512 gig NVMe drive. There's 2 different types of screens, and we're going to change the color, because I'd like the color to be slightly different. I'd also like a fingerprint reader, thank you very much, of course. And here's the critical button, change keyboard. I can have a backlit keyboard. Okay, and last but not least, you can have 2 sizes of battery. If you have the smaller battery, you can have a space to have a second drive, and you can select a media bay. But I'm not going to do that. Okay, so that's all done. You can see the price is $654, and we can continue customizing, and we can add it to the basket, etc. Just going to point out that you can have a 3-year warranty. So personally, I'd always select that. Laptops are the kind of thing that if they break down, you are really screwed. So for the extra money, I would definitely add in the 3-year warranty. So the total price is now $716. I wouldn't say it's cheap as chips, but considering what you're getting an 8-core, 16-thread laptop. Come on, internet. So you're getting an 8-core, 16-thread laptop with 16 gigs of memory, a fast NVMe drive, a 15.6-inch display, a fingerprint reader and a backlit keyboard, AC networking. Now again, you can go into PSREF and searching for IdeaPad 315 ALC6. We've got all of these machines. You can do a filter on UK. It's still quite a lot. Let's do a filter on processor. Let's get the faster processors. So let's get the 5700s. There's only 2 models. And what I wanted to show you is, a card reader, a 720 megapix Case Galactic Grey. So what I wanted to show you is the fact that the case it's plastic, okay, and it's not really what I wanted. I thought my minimum kind of specification would be a metal cased PC. I can see this is going to be a cheap and cheerful PC as such. It's not like the outgoing HP laptop that I sold, which was beautifully manufactured from like a solid chunk of aluminium, and that was a work of art. This is going to be a go faster PC, but still quite cheap in sort of physical design, and for that I'm you know, not that keen. I will point out that Lenovo does have something called an IdeaPad 5 Pro, and that's the machine I've been waiting for. There's some sort of bug on the UK website, which means to say that you can try and send a question to Lenovo, but when I fill in the questionnaire and say send, it says can't send question, something wrong with the web page. I've not been able to speak to anyone as to in Lenovo or Lenovo UK as to why this is not available and when it's going to be available. Another tip is you can change the country, so you can grab this here. You can do Control C here. You can scroll down and you can change the country. You go all the way down to the bottom and you see it says United Kingdom. You can change country, and often Malaysia has machines available earlier than other regions. So one I've chosen earlier is in Malaysia. This is the Malaysian Lenovo web page. You'll see that it is available. There's no configuration button, but it is available. And if you see the price of the machine with the faster, super duper faster processor, this is a metal bodied machine, completely different class of machine. It's got a very high resolution display. Unfortunately, it has soldered on memory, so it's not as good as the IdeaPad 3 in that respect, but it does have a super duper graphics card. It doesn't have a fingerprint reader, but perhaps if there was a configuration option here, you might be able to select some of those things. So currently the laptop I would have lusted after is the IdeaPad 5 Pro Gen 6. It's not available in the UK at all. In any region in which it is available, there's no configure button. So you've just got to take what's available, and you'll see that delivery is between 6 to 8 weeks. But in the UK, you can't even order it. So we're getting back to the fact that the IdeaPad 5 Pro would possibly be a great laptop to buy for probably something like half the price of a MacBook. This would be a laptop which would go very fast. It's got a 5800H processor. And if you remember, that's the one that's got a processing speed of 21996 comparing to 16242. So an even faster machine than the machine that I've ordered, but not available. So there we have it. The machine has been ordered. I've got to wait 8 weeks. My suggestion is to everyone who's looking for a laptop, in an ideal world, I think the Apple laptops might be the ones to go for. I'm a big Apple critic, but I do believe that in the medium to long-term future, ARM is the way that we will be going. So in that respect, if you do buy an Intel laptop in 2021, I'd make it a budget one, because your purchase is likely to devalue substantially if Apple gets their act further together, and Microsoft and the Intel manufactured laptops continue to fail to do so. So, back to the main point. Laptop I would suggest for everyone in the world to buy right now is the IdeaPad 315. Its cost at maximum configuration is about £700. That's with everything thrown in, including the 3 years servicing. And I think that represents a fine laptop for the money. Okay, diary, I'm hoping you're still awake and you haven't all nodded off. I will speak to you soon.